I am giving away 12 booster boxes of Mega Evolution, which is the next main series Pokemon card set. It comes out September 26th. I'm going to give subscribers 12 booster boxes. And if you want to be one of those lucky winners, all you got to do is just scroll down, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And then you're going to want to come back on Friday, September 12th to learn how you can be one of the lucky winners. So scroll down, hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on because why not? And then come back on Friday, September 12th to learn how you can be one of those winners of a new booster box for free of Mega Evolution. Good luck. There are a lot of weird things happening right now in the Pokemon card market. We've talked about this before with a lot of promo cards that have kind of shot up in price. There's weird things going on right now with the Bubble Mew, with the alternate art Umbreon V. But in this video, we're going to talk about Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer boxes, which have just skyrocketed in price. In fact, when I was recording this data, putting it all down, the market prices hadn't even updated yet on TCG Player, but there's sales that are happening over $100 above what the listed market price is, and they're being bought up like crazy at higher quantities than they were before. It's all very, very random. A lot of weird things happening right now. Obviously, the market is super volatile, and if there's one piece of advice I can give you, whether you are somebody who has been in the hobby for a very long time, or maybe somebody who's just recently entered the hobby over the past year and you're trying to kind of navigate your way through all of this craziness that continues to just happen, the best advice I can give you is you have to be okay missing out. It is okay to miss out, especially when things like this happen, when buyouts happen. Awareness is important. I really do think awareness is important. So that's why we talk about these things. But there is a lot of conversations that go on that really trigger your mindset and tickle your brain cells to be like, oh, I wanted that, or oh, I need that, I better buy it now. And then that whole feeling of missing out, that FOMO, really starts to kind of take over. And then you make dangerous decisions when it comes to spending your collection budget. So yeah, you may want to get Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, and you may want to complete all of the collection, but you got to make sure that you do it at the time that makes the most sense for you. When you see all these vendor POVs and all these shows happening with big dollars that are spread all over the place, you got to remember it's okay to work up to that. It is okay to not be at that point right away. You have to be okay with things happening that you just kind of miss out on for the time being. When Pokemon continues to put out just banger set after banger set and this amazing product or this new rarity, there's going to continue to be amazing things that happen down the road. And if you are somebody like myself who advocates for MSRP, or somebody who really believes that you shouldn't overspend, that means you really have to be okay with missing out on some things. And honestly, like, I have been in the same boat as a lot of people before, where I've made decisions, failures, and this is why I talk about this stuff, because I've made these failures before, where I've overspent on stuff thinking, oh, I got to get this now because everybody has it. I'm scrolling through Instagram, or I'm going through TikTok, or I'm going through X, and I see all these things that my friends have, or that these people that I kind of like. I like their content. Maybe I want to be more like them. And I want to have what they have. I want what they have. And it's very difficult. Like, that's just human. Like, that's just human nature. That's a natural thought process when it comes to those things. But eventually I got to the point where it was like, I overspent on this and now I can't afford to get this. Or I overspent on this and I wish I would have waited because now it's, half the price. It's corrected. And I've made those mistakes so many times before. And one of the biggest critiques I have of the community as a whole isn't necessarily gatekeeping, but it's the understanding that everybody enters Pokemon at a different time. So we need to think like what a Pokemon is, like different levels, different like people who trainers who start their journey at different times of their lives. Like, you just need to understand that there's always going to be people coming and going. Maybe there's people who haven't been around for as long as you, and we need to understand better as a community that we are going to have different people come in. Like, one of the things that I dislike a lot is when people say, oh, why didn't you buy it when you had the chance? Scarlet and Violet 151 sat on the shelves for months. Well, why didn't you buy it then? Those Pokemon Center ETBs that we're going to talk about in this video, Scarlet and Violet Base, Paldea evolved, Obsidian Flames. Those Pokemon Center ETBs sat at the Pokemon Center online for months. Why didn't you buy them then? Well, honestly, a lot of people come into the hobby at different times, and their collection goals are different at different times. Maybe they're working up to it. Maybe they weren't involved in the hobby until later on, and that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong. Like, this is a great hobby, but one of the things about a hobby is that it comes and goes into your life when you have the time for it. That's why it's a hobby, because you have other real life things going on, and you can only fit so much in your life, and you can pay attention to things like Pokemon card collecting when you have the time to do it. It's not a full-time job or anything like that. I mean, for some people it is, but I'm rambling now, so I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to flip you guys around so we can see exactly what I'm talking about here. But it is important to remember, you need to be okay missing out on things. It's not the end of the world, I promise. So we're going to look at things relatively quickly. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on all of this stuff, and there's a lot of weird things, like I said, that are going on with Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. The first one, Scarlet and Violet 151, which we didn't get a whole lot of restocks of. If you remember, like, there's been talks like, oh, would they reprint Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes? They could. They're not even printing enough reprints right now or restocks to keep up with current demand, so I don't think that that's a priority for them, but you never know. Like, down the road, maybe they'll throw a few extras. They did it before. They did it with Sword and Shield. So the back half of the Sword and Shield block, Lost Origin, Astral Radiance, Brilliant Stars, and Silver Tempest, those all got reprints after we were into the Scarlet and Violet generation. So they definitely climbed a lot in price. And then those reprints happened when a lot of people were already, they already exited the hobby. And then those reprints brought the price down quite a bit. So they did restock. That's why you see a lot of those Sword and Shield era ETBs trend at a much smaller pace or slower pace. Because they did get reprinted late on. Now, so it is very possible. Now, Scarlet and Violet 151, we didn't have a lot of waves of this. I think there were 2 waves of Scarlet and Violet 151 Elite Trainer boxes, but the madness was already in place. It already was going crazy, so they got eaten up right away. They got swallowed up right away. But to see what's going on with this Elite Trainer box, remember, there are no booster boxes for Scarlet and Violet 151. In May, this was a $469 box, which is crazy, even for an exclusive item. And people focus on exclusive items a lot, and basically, what do we mean by exclusive? Well, a product that is specific to a store or a online source. So you get exclusive items a lot at like GameStops. You get exclusive promos at Best Buys. For a while, they were doing exclusive promo boxes at Walmart, at Target. Like I said, GameStop usually does get a couple a year. And these in specific are only available on the Pokemon Center website. So if you go to an LGS and they've got a Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box, they would have either A, had to order it online from pokemoncenter.com, or B, would have had to buy it from a customer who was selling them, a sealed collection or something of the like. That's the only way that they can obtain it. They can't call up their distributors and be like, hey, I want to order the Pokemon Center exclusive ones, because they are exclusive only to the Pokemon Center. But as far as growth goes, 91.51% over the last just 3 months. We're only looking at 3 months of data. That's a lot, especially in a market where a lot of things were retracing in May. This one continued to climb. So it did level off a little bit from May until the middle of June. So for about 2-3 weeks, it was a little bit slower. And you can see, for the most part, relative consistency as far as the quantity of sales that have happened, but up to $899.34. And the ones that are listed on TCG Player right now are even above that. Same thing with eBay, which is crazy. What is even crazier is the Celebrations Elite Trainer box. Now, $383.56. You might be saying, oh, that's a lot. Like, that's a decent chunk for sure. Now, obviously, you had this weird spurt at the end of June where 30 of them sold. But this is a very interesting set, the fact that it is only $383.56. Now, I don't want to pump this up or anything like that, but this is what makes it crazy right now. So a set that does have more age. Now, you got to remember also the difference between Sword and Shield exclusive and Scarlet and Violet exclusive is that this one would have a stamp promo inside. So it's got that Snorlax stamp promo. This one has the Greninja star, but there is no stamp on it. So different design, obviously a little bit more age to it, a commemorative set because it is the 25th anniversary, and it's 40% of the cost of the Scarlet and Violet 151.
I find that very interesting. So $210.86 is where it was back in June. Again, just like the 151 Elite Trainer box, relatively flat for that 2-week stretch, and then really started blowing up. Still up 82%, which is a lot, but $383.56 compared to the Scarlet and Violet 151, which isn't a commemorative set. It is a specialty set, but not one that is, you know, specific to an anniversary. It was just a throwback to you know, the OG Pokemon, the original 151. This one a $900 box, as you know, compared to not even a $400 box yet. So very interesting on that one. Still tremendous growth. Celebrations in general has just grown tremendously over the last few months. Here's Obsidian Flames, which has seen a little bit of an uptick. Now, it's also important to remember with exclusive products, they are easily manipulated because you have such lower listings. I was talking to somebody the other day about the alternate art Umbreon V and how it's exploded in price and it's getting bought up like crazy. When you have those more top-heavy alternate arts or top-heavy products that are exclusive and there's less listings on TCG Player, they're much easier to manipulate because buyout groups can kind of focus on those things. They can buy out TCG Player, then they can go and they can buy out eBay and they can buy out some other sites because there's less available as far as supply goes. So it's easy to kind of manipulate that supply. Obsidian Flames Elite Trainer boxes, exclusive Elite Trainer boxes, definitely an example of that. So Obsidian Flames Elite Trainer boxes up about 56%. As far as quantity of sales go, fairly consistent throughout the last 3 months. Slow growth, organic growth, I would call it, from the end of May up until the middle of July, and then all of a sudden you see a lot more steep growth as far as the graph goes, and you can see jumping up 56% to 487.54. However, that 487.54 is the market price yesterday. I don't know like when it updates or anything like that, but you can see if we look at the sales at the bottom, the most recent sales, August 24th, and then again on August 25th, you have 850, 755, 722, and $738.99. Basically, that tells me that $487.54 price point for market price is going to explode in a matter of days. It could be by the time this video is even posted, it's going to jump up to $700-800, which is going to showcase insane growth for this product, which is absolutely crazy. Same thing with the Paldean Fates Elite Trainer box, not as significant as the Obsidian Flames one. You can see it trending down a little bit in July after it got bought up a little bit in the middle of June. $219.03 was its low point at the end of May. That really started increasing in July. Now it's jumped up about 75% to $383.92. But again, if you look at the last sales that were listed, August 26th, August 25th, August 24th, all between $450 and $500, with the majority of them being between $480 and $490. So strong growth right there, and a new market price that's going to be established over $100 ahead of what the current market price is. So just crazy growth on Paldean Fates as well. Surging Sparks is going to be a little bit more interesting because this one probably isn't going to be as impacted as some of the other ones because it is still in print cycle. Like it wouldn't surprise anybody, I don't think, if Pokemon dropped another Surging Sparks Pokemon Center print run. Now, it's highly unlikely, right? But it wouldn't surprise me, especially with Surging Sparks Elite Trainer boxes are getting hammered right now on the secondary market because of the restock or reprint, whatever you want to call it, from those Costco bundles. But still very strong growth over the past 3 months, with the majority of the damage happening since the beginning of July. So jumped up about 31%. This one's going to be a little bit more interesting because it does have that Pikachu stamp promo inside it. So Pikachu obviously being a very popular Pokemon, the Surging Sparks Elite Trainer box is probably going to be a little bit more desired in the long term. Jumped up about jumped up to $226.11. That's about 31% growth on that one. Here's the Paldea Evolved one. You can see some blips here where all of a sudden very strange quantities being sold, like the middle of June, and it has increased a little bit over the past few days. And I don't necessarily want to say these are buyouts and it's being manipulated. A lot more attention, we'll just call it attention, being paid to these Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer boxes. End of May, $334.77. So it's not like it's grown a ton. Like 13.64% is strong growth. That's a lot of growth. If you found your net worth to go up 13.5% over the course of 3 months, you would probably be very, very happy. This one's up to $380.42. That 13.64% growth just perils in like when we compare it to the other ones that we've looked at. But if you look at the recent sales, $409.99. $4.99. There was a $3.81 that snuck in there, and then $4.39, $4.59. So you would expect a new market price to be established right around that $450 mark, which is going to show a lot stronger growth, and Paldea evolved probably out of the print cycle as far as that reprint window goes. Evolving Skies, even Sword and Shield products starting to get touched a little bit. A lot of attention being paid to Sword and Shield because of its age. End of May, $505.75, which is already a lot. Now, not a whole lot that gets put up on TCG Player. So anytime one gets put up, it's going to impact that market price quite a bit. So it's up 26.5% to $639.42. But again, if you look at the most recent sales, 720, 720, 786, 780, $800, and then $813. So new market price probably being established, and this isn't even counting, you know, the eBay ones that have also been selling as well. Now, Crown Zenith, May 29th, this was sitting at $271.81. Again, relatively slow growth up until the end of July, and that's when you see it start growing quite a bit, not because the quantity of sales has gone up, but just because the supply has been replaced at higher prices, causing that market price to start jumping up. So it's up to $381.84, up about 40.5%. And then if you look at the most recent sales, $450, $401, $450, $445.98. So you can expect a new market price to establish relatively quickly here. Crown Zenith being impacted a little bit. Temporal Forces, this one is a little bit more obvious as far as manipulation goes. July, it was sitting at $159.21, only up about 8.5%. Again, nothing wrong with 8.5%. That's still very strong growth, but you can bet it's going to jump up a lot more now over the next couple days as far as a new market price that's going to be established, because it did get bought out recently, normally selling about 2 copies on a daily basis. All of a sudden it sold 18, which probably means that it got wiped clean on TCG Player, and now you have new sales that are happening on August 23rd for $300. So a new market price most likely going to be established. Temporal Forces kind of on the fringe there of reprint window. So even if they do reprint Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer boxes, they're going to continue to focus on the sets that are most recent. So Mega Evolution, which is sold out on Pokemon Center, probably going to get another print run of that. Destined Rivals, you might get another print run of that at some point, even though we've had a couple of them. Wouldn't surprise me if they did something like Journey Together, but before that, like, they've already done a few of Prismatic Evolutions. Much less likely that you're going to have more of them before that. It could happen. It's happened before, but as we continue to move forward and new sets get released, Pokemon's going to continue focusing on those sets, and that's why it might be okay just to let these slide and just be like, okay, I'm okay missing out on this one. Obviously, a new market price is going to be established soon. Here is the Silver Tempest Elite Trainer box, relatively similar as far as quantity of sales, selling between 1 and 2 copies on a weekly basis. Recently, it sold 3. That's not really going to change things too much, but it's just not getting replaced fast enough. End of May, it was sitting at $179.30. Now it's sitting at $210.18. New sales that are happening in the $250 to $260 range. That means a new market price is going to be established probably around $250 to $260, which is going to showcase even bigger growth. Here's Paradox Rift right here. A couple different variants of this one, just like Temporal Forces. End of May, this was sitting at $115.69. Strong growth, very consistent as far as sales volume goes, but you're starting to have sales that happen. You're not, or I should say with this one, you're not having sales happen at these higher price points, but the lowest ones listed right now on TCG Player are $200. So as soon as those start selling, obviously a new price point is going to be established for Paradox Rift as well. And it's very interesting. You look on eBay and look at sold listings on there, like the Pokemon Center exclusive Obsidian Flames, and even Scarlet and Violet 151. You see sales happening between that $800, $900 price point, and Obsidian Flames happening between $750 and $800. A lot of attention being paid to a lot of these exclusive Elite Trainer boxes, which is causing a lot of movement. But it's very important to pay attention to what's going on, but not make your decisions based on what everyone else is doing. And that's what I'm talking about when I say you really want to be okay missing out. And I understand it's not fun. Like, it's easy for me to say, and it's a lot harder to do. But when everybody else is going in one place, you kind of want to focus your attention somewhere else. And a lot of people paying attention right now to this, to celebrations, like we've talked about this. It's just very volatile market right now, and I want you to make sure that you do what's best for you, for your collection budget. So obviously, I don't think these are going to get back to MSRP or anything like that. But if you miss out because these price points are higher, then I think that's okay. Like, maybe you work your way up to that, and just like, yeah, it's just crazy right now. So I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like, leave a comment. It goes a long way for the algorithm. You can let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I would love reading your guys' feedback. So ultimately, I just love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thanks for watching the video. I'll talk to you again on Friday. Till next time, peace.